Hey everybody, this is B-Word of the Bleach Brothers podcast. Before we get into today's episode, I want to bring your attention to our Linktree. Please visit Linktree/Bleach Bros podcast for the links to all of our socials, streaming sites, and merch. Linktree is linktr.ee/Bleach Bros podcast, all one word. Soon enough, we'll be doing a merch giveaway. Be sure to follow, like, subscribe, and share our content for your chance to win and become a member of the Salty Hippo Nation. If you enjoy our content, make sure to give us a like and give us a review on whatever platform you're listening to us on. Also, invite your friends. And with that, let's get started with the show.
Bleach Bros, bruh.
Welcome into the Bleach Brothers podcast. This is B-Word, and I'm here with Jake. Jake the Hater, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I hate how you introduced me tonight.
I know.
Jake the Hater, that was lame. I hope you introduce the next person better.
Well, I think, you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to protest. I think I'm going to protest because of your shitty attitude. That's what I think I'm going to do. So how about you introduce our guest tonight, since you know how to do it so well?
Well, I don't know how to do it well, but his name's Curt, and he's from the Half Hour Bros, and I'm happy he's on because now I don't have to listen to you as much. You can go protest by yourself.
Fair enough. Welcome, Curt. How are you doing tonight?
What's up, guys? Do you guys want to kiss real quick? Are you good? I could go take a 5, eat a moon pie or something. You guys need a few minutes? You guys want to?
Moon pies. Do you like chocolate or banana?
Chocolate.
Thank you. Does anybody like the banana? It's like Laffy Taffy. It sucks.
Serial killers.
Okay. Yeah, see?
I'd agree with that. I'm sure
Dexter probably loves banana moon pies.
Did you guys watch the new Dexter yet?
No.
I'm waiting for it all to come out so that I can get a Showtime like trial and just binge watch that shit because I have everything but Showtime. I don't have Showtime. It's the one fucking streaming shit I didn't add.
I'll say this. I at first I thought you were going with the theory besides the free trial thing, which is genius sometimes. You know, it depends. The problem is you have to like coordinate it sometimes where it's like there's 3 shows coming out. Do I got to wait 6 months or what do I do? I sometimes will wait to watch the whole series so I can binge it all at once because I'm one of those like now that streaming has changed everything, it's hard to wait a week.
And how dare they put it out week by week when it's streaming now. It's like HBO Max will put it out every Tuesday. I'm like, no, I want that shit now, buddy. It's HBO Max like today.
Yeah. No, Hulu does that too for like their original content or whatever. It's like they'll release it this week and you might as well be watching live TV because you're going to be able to see this week's episode, but you have to wait for next week's episode. And that's really stupid. But speaking of episodes, tell us about your podcast, man.
That was a good transition. Half Hour Bros podcast. It's me and my brother Tom, older brother, 8 years apart, just bullshitting, usually drunk. I'm usually drunk since we record at my house. I'm usually the one that's been drinking all day when he shows up. Just shit about life back and forth. Sometimes we get political. Sometimes we get real world. Sometimes we take it to our opinion. Sometimes we fight. Most of the time we fight. We keep a little bit of that off the recording, but some of that shit does kind of slip in when he wants to test me while we're going back and forth. But it's just me and him bullshitting. We've been doing over a year now. And when I ran into your guys' name, I think across Twitter, I was like, why haven't I seen this yet? I did I saw bro across my moniker and I was like, hold on. I see bro. I have a bro in my name. Let's go. Let's see what's going on. What the fuck are these guys doing? And I started scrolling down and looking and I was like, oh yeah, this is a good fit.
Yeah, definitely require a bro date. So that's why we're here.
For real.
What days you guys coming out? Where can we find you? All those little details.
I did glaze over a good portion of shit. So you can find us on Spotify, Apple, Google, anywhere but YouTube, Podbay, Pod Pirate, everywhere but registered list on the internet. You can find us. And so oh, go ahead. What's up?
So you guys record in person, right?
Yes, in the studio. when we were forming the show, he called me and he was like, "We could do a podcast," and I was like, "I don't know what that is," because I'd never heard a podcast, and I was like, "Yeah, good luck with it, buddy. I hope they find a cure." And so we finally start, like, he gets me to listen to a couple, and I just rip out my whole spare bedroom and turn it into a studio. New episodes on Thursday, sometimes Friday, depending on how much I drink, because we actually record the day that I put it out. We'll record on Wednesday or Thursday, and it'll go out then.
Nice.
I was going to say, B-word, you're the king of transitions, the king of intros. You took it. I was going to ask him, like, if he enjoys recording in person, because I am so happy we are not next to each other ever.
I was actually going to bring that up, and I was just waiting to see where this conversation was going to go, because you were talking about how you and your brother end up, having the war of the words. I'm afraid that Jake might catch these hands if we record in person, just because.
I'm too tall for you, bro.
I don't care, man.
0 to my 10.
I'll step on a stool, buddy. But no, it'll be followed by a hug for sure, and then we'll go have some good meals. But no, actually, for Jake and I, we record, remotely, and we actually hopefully will meet up in person to be able to do that. But yeah, good for you guys, man. How were you guys affected by the pandemic? Did you guys have to split up a little bit?
Dude, so I used to live about an hour away from him, and we moved closer. So now we're maybe about 20 minutes away, and we were starting the show and getting together and shit. And pandemic hit, and me working retail, he has kids. There was like a huge portion of time we just separated, and we recorded in my car actually a couple times. We like social distance in my car. Like, I would have a mask on in the front seat, he'd be in the back seat, and we'd have like 2 microphones in there, just so that we're kind of like, windows down, not in the direct line. We've recorded in my garage before, separated during the pandemic. We recorded a couple of remote episodes that I wish I could scrub from the existence of the internet, because they're fucking horrible. But we had a couple of those. It affected us pretty bad, man. I would say just now, we started our show at the beginning of the pandemic, and just now we're finding our feet to kind of be able to get back in the studio and get it back swinging.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you guys are back in person. I know that the pandemic's affected everybody in a multitude of ways. For our audience learning about your podcast, what's your typical viewer like? What do you think that they're interested in?
Jesus Christ, I would love to meet my typical viewer one day. I'm sure they are just a basket case. If you're just a typical fan of this show, you probably need a little bit of therapy. You probably have an awkward relationship with most of your family. You were maybe hugged not enough or way too much as a kid. And that would probably be the average fan of our show. And somebody who drinks copious amounts of alcohol.
Nice. Well, your fans would fit in with our fans. And with that, we're going to take a real quick break to pay some bills. What do you think, Jake?
That's fine.
In a world filled with COVID and chaos, 3 dads bring to you a riot of entertainment every hump day.
Hump Day! We are Jordan, a.k.a. The Gnome.
Josh, a.k.a. The Dome.
AJ, a.k.a. The Stone.
And together, we're dads on Dayquil.
Between the 3 of us, we have 10 kids.
That we know about!
We're talking about you, Johnny Six. Sit down, turn up the volume, and crack a cold one as we bring you a glimpse into our dad lives. We break down our weekly events with our dad stories and tons of shout-outs.
Dad Corner!
We bring you dad games. We also cover music, movies, and all things entertainment. Hell, we even bring you the Stone Safe House for off-the-wall references.
Heyo!
So come check us out on your favorite podcast platform, even if you prefer certain platforms that we don't. Yeah, we're talking about you, Google Podcasts.
Meow.
Dad's out.
All right, now that the bills are paid.
Yeah, love those bros.
Now that the bills are paid, I think we need to talk about some conspiracy theories, because I found out in coordinating this that, Curt, you are like a big fan of conspiracy theories. Is that correct?
So what kind of got me into it, and I don't to keep it on topic, I was a big Illuminati fan. Like, it kind of fascinated me that there was just like one group that had just kind of this autonomous control over everything.
Right.
And I was always a big believer, like, every time I saw either a conspiracy theory or like a villain or somebody on TV that they demonized, I'd be like, that's not the guy. That's probably not the guy. That's just the guy that we see.
Right.
I feel like the real evil people you'll never meet. You know what I'm saying? Like 5 just shadowy figures in like this temple in some Roman church that's like half fallen apart, and they're just like lighting candles and doing like, oh, de Dios sefo, you know, like, and like smoke is coming out of the top, and they're just like trying to figure out who the next president will be. Like that's kind of what got me into it.
And they're turning the freaking frogs gay.
Yes, and
Sorry,
Alex
he's one of my
Jones.
favorites.
Alex Jones is probably one of my favorite individuals to hear speak in the history.
Does he speak though, or does he just yell? Because I kind of feel like he has 2 volume settings. He has off and loud as fuck.
He is a direct line of God. So when you get that kind of energy shooting out of you, like you're gonna, he's gonna come on and every other sentence he's and.
Oh man, what's your favorite conspiracy?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. What's the best one you got, or your favorite?
Let me get some of y'all's first, man. I got about 7 in my head right now. Let me whittle them down. What do you guys got for ones that jump out?
So Jake, I'm going to toss this over to you real quick first.
So there's one. So I'm into cryptozoology, right? And when you look at the list, there's usually like the regular players like Loch Ness, UFOs, that stuff. But the Montauk Monster. I don't know if you guys know about the Montauk Monster.
Okay, a little bit.
Okay, so it was like some creature was washed up on Montauk Beach, and they took some photos of it. It went viral on the internet. It went all over the news and everything. And then all of a sudden, somebody just picked it up and took it off, apparently. Well, the thing is that now they're saying it was a decomposing raccoon. And like zoologists, like if you look at the bone structure and stuff, and I understand it. However, right near it is like an animal testing facility on an island called Plum Island. And I do not think that it's a damn raccoon. I think it was a fucked up creature that got loose and died. And they're just trying to cover that shit up. That's one of my favorite ones because I would love to know what the hell that thing is.
Do you think that he died as a result of Thanos' snap, though?
Shut up. That's
no.
Like
that's,
Rocket Raccoon just fucking washed up on the beach.
No.
And Groot in the middle of morning had tears running down his wooden face. And he said, I am Groot.
How do trees cry?
You cut them.
That's true.
Okay.
No,
And the way that trees procreate, like if they had semen, would be through their sap.
If they had semen, but they don't have semen.
Correct.
So how many trees did you have to get splinters from before you figured that out?
Well, the worst thing is if you're a tree with a toothpick, because when you circumcise a tree, is it also coming or crying the end of the the twig?
You're usually left with a pretty good piece of wood, though. You could turn into a leg for a table or something.
Yeah.
I'd love to have dick furniture in my house if I was a tree. Oh, this is Johnny's old circumcised penis.
You can hold up a porch cover with it.
You know what sucks right now, Kurt, is I was actually given a conspiracy theory because that's what we're supposed to talk about, and Brian turns it into tree boners. Like that's what just happened.
I've heard some transitions before, but it's hard to go from talking about some weird mystery monster to trying to wiggle your way into excusing fucking a tree. So I'm just trying to play catch up right now, but he definitely wants to get pretty intimate with a tree. I think we have found that out. If we've learned nothing else today, this is conversation 1 out of like 7 to where he just starts humping trees. But,
I will petrify the shit out of that wood, let me tell you.
Buddy, I just want you to know we're here for you in the very beginning. You don't have to give us a bunch of crazy excuses. I celebrate it, man. Go get Crisco or get some of the sap. Maybe that'll work. Maybe the sap, maybe that's the tree letting you know that it's all good. I don't know, man. Whatever you're into.
All right, since we're on this, what kind of tree would you fuck, B-word?
A nice piece of ash.
And would you make it sign an NDA? Would the tree be able to go out in public?
I think if I were to do it, like I would actually have the tree like inscribe on itself the NDA. You know, like you're cutting into the wood with a pocket knife.
Yeah, I was going to say. I was going to say, I hope you're fucking one of those trees like where the junior high kids scribbled a little heart on it and cut on there and everything, and all you're doing is just smacking that. Yeah.
We are way off base, bros.
All right, let's get to conspiracy.
That's all I'm saying.
That's one of my favorite conspiracy theories. What's one of yours, B-word?
So you and I you and I grew up near this place. My favorite conspiracy theory is Area 51.
Yeah.
Area 51 is a real place. It actually exists. We can drive past it. You can Google Earth it, kind of. But I don't think that Area 51 is what everybody thinks Area 51 is. And that's probably why it becomes my favorite conspiracy theory. There was a lot to talk about with Roswell, New Mexico in 1947, where you supposedly had that alien sighting and UFO sighting and whatever, and that they took either the alien carcasses or the aliens to Area 51. I just think that I personally believe that Area 51 is more like a missile development, like that sort of stuff, because in Nevada, there's just a bunch of land and there's not really anybody around the land. So for me, that's my favorite conspiracy theory. I love Independence Day, where they like made that a focal point. But yeah, Area 51 is kind of it for me, man.
I don't think Curt likes that movie. So okay, let me ask you this, B-word. Well, because we also grew up around Art Bell, right?
Yes, sir.
And so there's a lot of talk of UFOs and everything. And I remember we once on the show talked about how we saw the stealth bomber and we didn't know what it was when we were kids playing a baseball game.
Yeah.
Now, do you think, like, what was that guy's name that was on Joe Rogan? A lot of people, the 5 News.
What's
that
I know
asshole?
who you're talking about. Yeah, he was doing all the videos of the UFOs.
Who also got
Bob
caught with
Lazar.
Bob Lazar.
Yes,
Who got
Bob
caught with
Lazar.
all the prostitutes? Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think that he actually worked on a UFO? Like, so are you saying that do you think there's UFOs there? But 2, that you actually think the Area 51's a cover up for the actual place that is the place?
Number 1, I believe that there are UFOs there. Now, does that mean that it's some sort of alien technology? No, but it's some sort of unidentified aircraft to the public. I think that the military probably understands it, or at least acquired it from, China or someplace, and they've, kind of dissected the technology. 2, I do think that there is another place, potentially in Alaska or Arizona or some other place that has a lot of vacant land that has other types of shit there that I think Bob Lazar may have worked. Like Bob Lazar's documented to work on Area 51, so I don't want to discount that, but I just don't think that shit exists there.
I think Bob Lazar's a fucking liar. What do you think, Curt? Same question.
No, I actually happen to tend to agree with a lot of what Bob Lazar says and a lot of his timeline. I'm a huge Joe Rogan fan. I was a huge conspiracy fan into when he came on and shit like that. And I remember Joe Rogan saying, like, I don't know whether he's being honest or not. He's like, but from what I can tell, and I interviewed a lot of people, I know he's not lying. You know what I'm saying? He at least believes what he saw. And they're already coming out with documentation that's saying that they found these alien spacecrafts throughout the years and that they've had this unidentified flying objects that they've been able to like capture, and they don't know how the hell it moves and transports. And I've always wondered for a long time too with Area 51, is it hiding in plain sight or is it a dummy site? And I can never, my opinion always changes over the years, because I'm either they're genius and it's right fucking there, and they're telling you that it's there, and we all believe it's there, but we think people are crazy that think it's there, or it's somewhere way off to the left, and they're just claiming that this is the site, and right next to it there's a Dairy Queen, but underneath the fucking Dairy Queen there's like 8 alien bodies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now I will say this. Maybe I was a little harsh. I'm not saying he's a total fucking liar. The problem,
that actually hurt my feelings a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. So I would actually kind of like to discuss that right now, and maybe ways that we can find back to being friends. I don't know.
Yeah, Jake, could you please offer a sincere apology to our guest?
I hope you both fuck a tree later.
I was really, and I really thought that we would all be friends after this, man. But that's
we're
fine.
gonna, Curt. We're friends in a different way.
No, it's a tree built for 2 now, buddy. Sorry, you're out.
I need to be on that limb. So no, what I meant was I don't think Bob Lazar is a total liar. The problem I have is when Joe Rogan, when he was on there, and other people when he was talking, saying he told the same story over and over. You can perfect a lie over and over, and as B-word was saying, maybe maybe he believes it so much because he's thought about it so much and things have changed and stuff. Do I believe that he worked on something? Yes. Do I believe that he was there? Yes. Do I think he was mistreated? Yes. There's a lot of his story that I believe. However, growing up in Vegas and seeing his downfall as well on the news and all the other stuff he's in, it makes it really hard to defend that part, especially because we had a lot of friends, or I did at least, that worked at Area 51 growing up. Like the Travesty, who we've talked about this show, his dad worked there. And it was one of my favorite things because I don't know if you ever met.
Did he work there or the test site?
He worked both.
Okay.
So, and here's the thing: if you ask him, he just would smile at you, and because you remember Travesty's dad, right? He looks like the diabetes guy that with a giant mullet, and I mean a mullet down to his ass. But okay, so we'll get off on that one then. Curt, what?
Well, hold on. I have a follow up on that one.
Fine, go ahead.
And Curt, this is quick, man. So we'll get to you here in just a second. But before the record year of craziness, 2020, where everything took a shit. In 2019, there was that storm Area 51. You guys remember that? That social media.
I remember that.
If you had the opportunity, and I'm not saying that we all had the opportunity or whatever, and I'm not even saying that it's Area 51, but if you have the opportunity to go to one of these weird ass things, would you go?
Maybe. You mean like if they were doing a storm Area 51, would I go?
Yeah. Like, and you can make whatever rules you want. So you're not going to get shot.
Oh, okay. Cool,
you're going to see some people that are crazy.
Cool.
Blah, blah,
1,000% I'm going. 1,000% I'm storming the gates. The fact of me getting shot was the only thing keeping me from going. If you could tell me I wouldn't have got shot, I'd have been there. I would have been there. Those fucking pussies that went online and were like, storm the fucking Area 51. And then the day showed up and everybody was like, oh, I had to get my oil changed. And they're like all fucking posting on Instagram. I'm like, God damn it, man. We had a fucking plan. We were supposed to fucking bomb on these folks and nothing happened.
There was a lot of people that were saying that they were going to go there and clap some alien
clap
booty.
Alien cheeks in Naruto run, bro.
And they failed, bro. They failed. Was it in Nebraska or someplace where there was like the big Josh battle? Was it the Josh battle?
Was it the battle of the Josh or battle of the not Brandon's, because let's go Brandon, but that whole different story. What was it? Was it the Josh?
It was the battle of the Joshes, wasn't it?
Where that little kid won, where all the Joshes met up and
where they beat each other with pool noodles.
God damn.
Did you hear about that, Curt?
No, but I kind of want to see it now. I hope somebody filmed that.
This one guy found tons of people on Facebook or something, and
Facebook Messenger. He added
all his
every
same name.
Josh.
It was like Josh Schmidt. And he said, "We're all coming on this date." He posted out a year or two out, saying, "We'll all be at this date, this GPS spot." And we will all fight it out. And they all actually showed up. They all showed up. And then this 7-year-old, they let him win. He was the king of the Joshes. Yeah.
The remaining one was the king of the Joshes. He was the one who can use the name.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
It's good shit, dude. You should look that up. So Curt, what's your conspiracy now, buddy?
Damn, man. I almost forgot it. I got it now. So I had to switch through a couple because I've got some ones that are pretty outlandish. I'm going to be honest with you, man. I'm kind of, I started drinking after I woke up to do this. And I was kind of drunk when I went to sleep. I'm not sure I remember mine now after hearing all of yours, and the whole tree fucking fiasco kind of threw me off my conspiracy game. Because now every time I go to think of a conspiracy, all the only message that runs through my head is one of you guys fucking a tree. So it's kind of hard to get that out now.
We're clapping leaves. All right. So let me ask you this. So Jake lives in Washington.
Okay, congrats.
Yeah.
So there's been 2,032 Bigfoot sightings in the state of Washington. Now, if you ask Jake believes in Bigfoot.
Okay.
Do you believe in Bigfoot?
I believe that Jake should have the right to believe in Bigfoot, and I will vote for that right, and I will defend that right. Do I believe in Bigfoot? Absolutely not. I think he's a complete psychopath for believing in him. But should he have the right to? And will I protect that? And will I go to a booth and pull down a lever to vote for that? Absolutely, man. I'll also tell you probably need to speak to somebody, though, because that's Karaka shit. So
Jake grew up needing a hug.
We talked about this, and I said, I think I'm at the point in my life too. You know how when you grow older, things change. I think it's the more of me wanting it to be real.
Okay, 100%.
Of my belief now than it actually because something could exist, but it's more like I just want it to be real so bad that I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sit here and do it now. Because here's the thing too. And I will tell the story. There was a guy I ran into at a bar once who did like a Bigfoot show and a podcast and all that. And he was on one of those like History Channel, like he got interviewed. And watching that made me not want to believe that day. Because it was like, there's groups of people, like, right? And so it's like, you either shop at Target or you shop at Walmart, right? If like, my wife and her friends. There's people that believe in Bigfoot, people that don't, and then the fucking crazies that believe in Bigfoot. Now, I would not put myself in that third group, like where I'm going out and like, putting deer urine on me and smacking trees with a stick and throwing rocks and grunting and you know what I mean? Like I'm not
just
but
tossing
it's like
Jack Link's jerky all over the woods and walking backwards.
Yeah, like and like going and searching for it all the time. But like when I'm driving down the road, do I ever look in the woods and be like, man, that'd be cool if I saw something? Yeah. That's what I'm at.
What a little kid thing to say. Yeah. But as I'm driving, do I ever gaze into the woods of the random area I'm at and go, are you out there, Bigfoot?
That's right. Like it's like,
do you know about me? just you look out as if you're gonna look out your window and Bigfoot's gonna be running in the woods right by where your window's at. Like
it would be so great.
And you just like pull over and you guys just see each other. Yeah. All right,
and then we run to each other and throw Jack Link's jerky in the air when we
he just rips you in half by the waist and throws you into the fucking woods.
No, the worst part is he's going to see my Bleach Brothers shirt and go, I just saw your friend fucking a tree down the road.
That's right. B-word. Yeah, he's going to look at you and say, you look a lot like a tree and just start walking towards you.
He's like, you kept calling me Harry from Harry and the Hendersons, but my name is really Fruit Loops. And
can I tell you why they call me Bigfoot? Like, all right, man.
Right?
So we, as we stated, we grew up around Area 51. So there's another big conspiracy that we grew up with. And I mean, it's not, he died. Tupac got shot. Right?
Yeah, Tupac died.
Well, he got shot. I'll admit to that. Continue.
Okay, and so I think Kurt's on the same page as me.
All right. I see where you're going.
Tupac dead?
I think first we have to establish what's being alive. And that's how I'm going to start this argument.
Oh, wow.
Does that work? Is that a good intelligent? That's what I do anytime I don't know what to say is I'm like, well, what is alive? Let's start there.
What's your definition of alive? And
is Tupac dead? Is he? Are we dead? Are you dead? Where's Walt Disney right now? Do you know what I'm saying? No? All right. Let me try this from an actual standpoint. I think he's probably dead now, but I don't think he died then. But okay. I think he's probably dead now, or he's very old. I don't know, man. Some of these pictures they come out with where they're like, I saw Tupac at Coachella 2019, and they got some guy on the front row. No, like the dude at like, do you ever see where they have like random people at certain places? They'll be like, someone saw Tupac at a spice market in Tibet, and it'll be like this fucking on the other side of the world. There'll just be some like 52-year-old like black guy that looks exactly like older Tupac in the middle of like all these like other countries.
Conspiracy theory on top of conspiracy theory real quick, Kurt. Okay. Like you were just saying how, they might see him in, Dubai or whatever.
Right.
You will never meet everybody on the planet. So there might be two of you actually, because you have a doppelganger, right?
Okay. Yes.
And so there might be like 4 copies of Tupac, but they're actually not all Tupac. I believe in that more than him dead.
Like, there's probably a Tupac who like collects water for some tribe, like,
he just comes back and like
exactly no access to technology. Like he's just got like, some crazy hair, and he just collects water for a tribe. Like he'll never know that there's somebody who looks identical to him.
Right.
That was famous. Right.
I also believe that the government can have body doubles out there. I am a huge believer of MK Ultra, deep fakes, MK Ultra. The one I remember, the conspiracy theory I remembered is the CIA mind control that they did back in the day, where they also like the LSD experiments they would do in these brothels, where they would slip men LSDs that were coming in, and they would like record and document their things. If you ever get a chance, go online. I think they did in the 60s or 70s. They got a guy, and they got him to do LSD, and they like documented his whole trip throughout it. It's really crazy. Like it's in the 60s and 70s, and you just look and see how much better we talked like as a people. He was just a normal guy, right? And like his English was like perfect, but it's cool to go into how they manipulate your mind and shit. But I'm a huge like MK Ultra fan.
Okay.
I really believe that they control a lot of these celebrities and politicians through that kind of type of, whatever.
I'm with you there, man. I totally think that the government does that shit. I think part of it is like, I think they did it then. I think they do it now.
Oh,
like
1000%.
I still think that there's, it might be in Guantanamo Bay. It might be, anywhere else in the U.S. I think they're still doing that shit, man.
Now, do you think they're doing it like how the whole thing, like Andrew WK is just a guy that was rehired? Or do you think they're actually doing like a clone?
Oh,
I would say cloning a lot, man. You ever seen some of them and you're like, you kind of look like that celebrity, but you kind of don't look like that when they show you the side by sides and they're like, who the fuck
Eminem
is this
recently.
now? Like Eminem recently. Yeah. Have you seen We're the Millers?
yeah.
The guy that plays the dorky guy that gets the spider bite on his junk.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how he looks now.
Yeah, he's got a whole different chin.
Makes no sense. It makes no sense. It looks like he ate Chris Hemsworth and became some weird fucking mixture of the two people. Like it's
Zac
creepy.
Efron too.
Well, Zac Efron. That dude is a bag of lays right there. That's crazy.
Right?
Any Zac Efron movie I watch. I'm sorry, man. I've watched all the High School Musicals. I have a loving wife, and I am, I'm about as what I'm gonna get is what I'm gonna get sexuality wise. But goddamn, yeah, Zac Efron he's a whole bag of Frito scoops.
I'm a big
He's changed over the years though. Like
he has. He has an 11 pack.
Yeah, it's either like not the 11 pack per se, but his facial features are either plastic surgery or it's like some sort of clone scenario.
Late puberty.
I'm all about that life, dude.
The late puberty.
It's super late puberty, bro.
Yeah, at 22, he just hit this weird stage where people want to eat sushi off of his ass cheeks. Yeah, he's fucking incredible looking now.
Yeah, that's the late puberty hitting in, dude.
Seriously,
mine hit
dude.
Early, I guess.
My God, man.
It's
you could,
funny, man,
you could pour cheese dip into his abs and just dip fucking chips in there all day, dude. Jesus Christ.
A whole bag of Frito scoops and Zac Efron's butt.
It's funny too because like Bieber had a puberty sprout thing.
Yeah.
And you know what he looks like? He looks like a roofer, like the weekend after Payday.
You mean a roofer on roofies?
Yeah, he looks
like a roofing roofer.
He's definitely like a roofer after a weekend bender. It's crazy,
shit.
man.
So let me just point this out really quick because we're 31 minutes in, and every time we've had a conversation where it's like, hey, we're gonna talk about conspiracy theories, Brian goes and talks about circumcising trees and fucking them. We start talking about, Tupac died. Brian goes and wants to bring up, Justin Bieber's puberty.
Yeah, why not?
I can't be mad at it only because
the next half hour, bros.
I can't be mad because this is our show basically. If you wanted to, this did a better job of explaining what our show is than I could ever do. I'm basically him in our show. My brother will come in with an outline, and I'll be like, "Cool outline. Fuck everything you're talking about," and then I'll just go off for like 30 minutes.
I'm all about that.
So Tupac died.
Tupac's dead? Oh shit!
Okay,
he died.
So let's revisit that for a second. So Jake, do you think Tupac died like that night?
No.
What do you think happened?
I think the music industry is aware that you will sell way more records when you are dead. It always happens, right? And sometimes it's because they actually die. But I think also there is something to be said with we were coming into a new day and age of paparazzi and how people were into the spotlight, and it was even crazier than it is now. Like, because now they're sort of, you get big from being in the spotlight, right? Like, so let's go back to Bieber. Bieber got big because he put himself on YouTube. He got seen and got big, right?
Right.
Stars, if you look at like the late 80s through the 90s, they were followed nonstop. I mean, Princess Diana died from paparazzi, right? So some stars might have been burnt out, but the industry would be like, okay, we can do this. You'll still make money. So do I think that happened? Yeah. Now, the difference is the flip side of that, Biggie really died. And I think it was that whole scenario between the two, they're totally connected. So if you don't think they're connected, you're wrong. There's a reason Biggie died, and that's because, because Tupac died and then Biggie died, right? Or is it the other way around?
Yeah, Tupac died and then Biggie died.
Yeah, and that's a repercussion. So Biggie really died, but Tupac didn't, in my opinion. Then I don't think he died that night.
I don't know. I think if I were to answer the question, I do think that both of them died the way that we're told that they died. And what I mean by that is that they died on the specific days that they died from gunshot wounds, etc. I just feel like it was too similar. You know what I mean? Like, I realized we had that West Coast, East Coast battle. And I know that there was that, that fight for domination between, Bad Boy and, oh my gosh, what's Death Row Records? And so I do think that both of them died. I just think that there's mitigating factors as to why they died. Like, I'll say it all day long, dude. I think Death Row Records ended up killing Tupac. I think Biggie was retaliation for that, but I think that I think that the LA Police Department, the LA Sheriff's Office, LA County, whatever the thing was, had more involvement within the gangs to be able to rid Tupac and ultimately rid Biggie. I think that it was a big conspiracy to do so. I don't think we'll ever know the answer.
Okay. Well, Curt, I got it. And you don't have to give out this actuality detail, but you said you're 8 years younger than your brother, correct?
I'm 31. He's 39.
Okay. I was going to ask what generation, like, because I mean, that also makes a difference. Like when we were talking conspiracy theories or anything, like, some of the other things we're going to talk about tonight. Like, was that like, do you remember that moment? Were you into that like type of music or anything, or is that like a little before your time?
So he was 8 years older. So everything I found out in life, I found out through what he was doing and what my dad was doing. It was kind of like they were really best friends growing up, and I was always a little too young to get it. So I tried to watch everything that they watched. I mean, when I was real young, I was probably the only one in my class listening to like Bone Thugs and Harmony and, like The Chronic and all these like some of these older albums and stuff. And I remember like the movies, like, 12 years old and my favorite movie, Spaceballs. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a whole different kind of growing up because I was always only interested in what my brother was doing and what my dad was doing. So like, I'm 14 listening to like HBO stand-up specials and like Cinemax and stuff. And I remember that whole beef, man. And as I got older, I looked into it more as an adult, and it's different than any other beef like out there. It's different. Like Jay-Z and Nas had the beef. And like that was I don't fuck with you. I don't fuck with you. Let's get this out through music. But the Tupac and Biggie shit was like, let's go to straps. Like let's go to guns. Let's pop the trunk. Like hit 'em up. Hit 'em up is like a death wish. That song Hit 'em up is like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. If I made some shit like that about somebody that I didn't like and put it out on the air, just break that song down the next time you listen to Hit 'em Up. Like listen to the lyrics or watch the lyrical version. It's crazy.
Did you watch Notorious, the movie?
Parts of it, man. I don't think, I don't like movies like that, man. 8 Mile was one I could get with, but I just don't think that they do a good job covering the actuality of it. I think they glow it up too much to where I just can't connect with the person. I'm just like, I guess it's Biggie, but it's like it's Biggie with a $300 million budget. It's like, I can't connect to this guy like who's trying. It didn't click for me.
That motherfucker looked like Biggie, just so we're clear.
That's a problem right there, though.
1,000% though. 1,000%.
That's a problem though, because we've seen this and we've talked about those comic book movies too. B-word. Just because somebody looks like somebody doesn't mean they're going to do a good job playing the character. And
you don't think he played Biggie well?
I think I'm not saying technically he did a bad job, but the issue that I have with a lot of these types of movies is they'll cast people that look like them, and they and that's all they went for. They didn't fucking care if the guy could act. They didn't care if the guy could sing.
How they did with Tupac with All Eyes on Me.
Right, and it's just and you're just like, right.
That was terrible.
And that's
NWA was good though. I will say that the NWA movie, Straight Outta Compton. I thought they did a really nice job covering it.
They did a good job. The reason why I bring up Notorious though is because there was that scene where Lil Cease played Hit 'Em Up for Biggie. And I think that was probably one of the more real reactions to what that could have looked like.
Right.
I think Biggie was a big-hearted teddy bear at the end of the day. I don't think that he was. I mean, I know he was gangster. I know he went and did shit on the streets. I just don't think that he had. I don't want to say he
killer
didn't
mentality.
Have yeah, I don't think he had a killer mentality. That wasn't him. That wasn't what his music was. You know. So it's just weird. But this is a good transition because, you know, I know that we all have a list of hip hop movies. So, you know, I think for this, I'm gonna call on Jake first. So, Jake, what are your top hip hop movies?
Top 3 hip hop movies. Number 1 is Belly with DMX.
Oh, okay.
It's mainly because I love DMX. It's got a good cast in it. I mean, I like that movie. 2 is 8 Mile. I think if you're gonna get into, like Curt was saying, the centralization of rap and hip hop, right? And, you know, make it into a movie of an actual star, you know, I think it's the one that does the best job out of all of them. Now, I will say the NWA one did very well, but there were parts of that movie I just didn't jive with me. And then number 1, I'm gonna do Hustle and Flow.
That was a good one.
And the reason is I just liked the whole movie made me root for the guy.
Fucking yes.
And
yes,
I'm not
dude.
a happy ending guy, and it's one of those movies that I actually like how, you know, it went down, but also like
man.
He did a great. I mean, that was a great movie in my opinion.
Terrence Howard fucking crushed that shit. Jesus Christ, man.
So that'd be my number 1.
Terrence Howard was really good in that one. That's
man.
a really good top 3.
What a good number 1, dude. Fuck you, bro. I gotta fucking revamp my list now. Fuck, dude.
So, Curt, you need to revamp your list, or you want me to go?
I got it. No, I got it. Let's
Cool.
So I guess no particular order, maybe, or particular order. In Straight Outta Compton made its way onto my list, and
It's a good movie.
8 Mile, obviously, because it's got, you know, you're lucky enough to have Eminem playing Eminem in Detroit, reliving his own story. He just happens to be a good actor too. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's when you watch the movie and you're like, fuck, Eminem can act. Like, he uses real summer actors, but he uses a lot of actual freestylers and battle rappers from Detroit in his shit. You know, he's got, like, so many people got launched from that shit. It was just, it had Brittany Murphy in it. Who
She was hot back in the day.
I was in love with Brittany. That movie, Just Married, with her and Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one? It's one of my favorite movies.
Where she broke the electrical socket by plugging in the wrong dildo port.
Yeah, that's right. He was like, yeah, he goes, it's fine. You can't plug that into a European outlet. He goes, it's fine, baby. They all work. And he fucking just jumps that shit in. But yeah, man, I thought that one was good. And then Bodied. I don't know if you guys have seen Bodied.
Oh, Bodied.
I've seen Bodied.
That was a good one.
I thought it was a little for the younger people with some of the shit that was in it. As somebody who's 31, I think 30 when it came out, some of the shit they were doing was a little trend hoppy, a little, you know, a little like this is what the 16-year-olds are bopping their head to. But still, I think the message behind it was good. Okay. But yeah, those would be my 3.
So I don't know if you guys have any honorable mentions, but I'm going to start out with some honorable mentions. So we already talked about Notorious. That's on my honorable mention. The reason why that's on my honorable mention is because of how well Christopher Wallace was portrayed by the actor. I don't remember the actor's name. And I just thought he was really, really good. I think that there's some things that could have been improved, specifically the actor that played Puffy. I thought he was just nowhere close to what Puffy looks like, really even acts like. And then I didn't like how they, you know, the actor that they put in for Tupac. Didn't they put in, what's Falcon? What's the actor that plays Falcon?
Oh, Anthony Mackie?
Anthony Mackie was Tupac. And I was like, no, that's not Tupac. That's not Tupac at all, because he was an 8 Mile.
And he was a good ass Papa Doc.
Yeah,
he was fucking great as Papa Doc.
He played a good Papa Doc. So Notorious is my my honorable mention. Second honorable mention is City of Lies. City of Lies came out last year. I think it was last year. It was in the middle of the pandemic. It was one of the first movies that actually hit theaters. And Curt, I don't know where you live, if theaters opened, at a reasonable time. I know for Jake, they only opened a few months ago.
Yeah, they've been open, but it's been weird up here. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been crazy, but I remember going to see City of Lies in the theater. It's with Johnny Depp, and Johnny Depp plays the LA police detective that's investigating the Tupac murder. And I fascinated the entire way through, man. It was a great film. So that's another honorable mention. Top 3, no particular order. Jake, I got to agree with you. Hustle and Flow. I thought that one really captured the struggle. That
word. Yeah. Holy shit, dude.
That one was a great one, from the fact that he was a pimp, from the original music, by 3 6 Mafia, no less. I thought that was great, dude. And, that was just a really good movie. 8 Miles on there for sure. And for all the reasons that both of you guys talked about, but I've got to put Poetic Justice on there with Janet Jackson and Tupac. You guys ever see that?
Now, isn't that the one where she wouldn't let him lay in the bed with her because she was afraid he had AIDS or something?
I think that's probably like in the behind the scenes stuff. Okay. But basically, Tupac is a USPS driver, and he's trying to live this clean life, stay out of the ghetto, stay out of the gangs, all that sort of shit. It had Sinbad in it, which I fucking love Sinbad, just and then it was basically that they're taking a trip to deliver mail to I don't even remember where they're going, but the 2 girls come in, Regina King and Janet Jackson, and basically they have this little couple day trip, and it's a really, really good movie. It's kind of a chick flick, but I thought it was really, really good. And then when I said Sinbad, I remembered a movie, and this is not on my list, nor will it be on my list, but you guys remember Bebe's Kids?
Yeah, I remember Bebe's Kids.
Oh, I fucking love Bebe's Kids. Curt, you ever see Bebe's Kids?
No, I've never seen that.
Okay, first and foremost, man, any platform you can find it, go watch Bebe's Kids.
Okay,
it's amazing. It's amazing. I remember watching it as a kid, and Sinbad played the baby.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome.
So we went through hip hop movies, and we have a little segment on here, and we it's been very popular, and we do this a lot. So I'm going to bring out the Everlasting Jukebox now, Curt. The Everlasting Jukebox is a jukebox that you own, that you would throw tonight. We're going to throw in 3 albums that you would put in there. They're forever. They're your top 3 probably, because you can listen to them on rotation nonstop. There's something about them attracts you.
They don't have to be commercially the best.
No, it's just for you.
Okay.
So this isn't like, we're not going to shit on if you say something. We're not going to be like, oh, that sucks. That's your choice. We can debate it a little bit, but the only rules that we have is you never do collabs and you never do greatest hits.
Fuck, I can't do collabs.
Well,
no.
Here's the thing. I brought that up though because there is a thing that you can do with hip hop, and I think that it does justify the rule. And I didn't mean collab; I meant compilations. So collabs are fine.
Okay. All right. Okay. Cool.
But the whole thing is tonight we're going to do top 3 hip hop albums, and it did bring up a question for me of the difference between hip hop and rap. And so before we get into the list, I am interested to what you guys think the difference of hip hop and rap is.
Okay. You want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
First, I got to say it's been bottled up. Do you guys subscribe to the conspiracy theory that that fucking Sinbad was Kazam?
I wanted to bring that up, but I didn't want to. I do believe that, yes. I do believe Mandela effect one. Yeah, I do
yes.
too.
Yeah, I clearly remember that shit, right? He did that shit, right?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. It's like him and OJ, they did that shit. Like those are the 2 things I know in my life. They did that shit.
They were both wearing gloves too. He's wearing gloves.
Gloves were huge at the time, and I'm sure they were both bloody for some reason, but they did that shit. I know this in my life. Like you can't tell me he didn't do that.
Nope, that movie exists.
Jake had to remind me of the Mandela effect after Dad's on Dayquil brought it up. What, a month, 6 weeks ago, something like that. And I was so confused at it that Jake kind of broke it down to me because I was not comprehending what it was. But Jake was bringing shit up to me, and I'm like, no, that shit exists. Like Sinbad, and as was it Kazam or Shazam?
Kazam. Shazam is Shaq.
Okay.
I thought Shazam was the new one they came out with, the superhero one.
Well, that's also a superhero thing, yeah. But there's a Shaq genie movie
where he
there
was like a
Sinbad genie movie, and then Shazam is a character, yeah. But
yeah, no, Kurt. I'm all with you, dude. Sinbad was definitely a genie.
I just don't. All right, man. That kills me. So I'll wake up at 2:00 in the morning. And I'll be like, he did that shit, and I'll just look at the ceiling. And I'm like, he did that shit. And I'll wake my wife up and I'm like, look at me. He did that shit. And I'll go around the house to all the animals and pick them up and like, you were there, right? He fucking did it. And then I'll go back to sleep. But all right. So let's see. Albums in the Everlasting Jukebox?
Yep.
Yeah, so real quick though, what's the difference between hip hop and rap?
To me, hip hop is kind of like what I would just turn my radio on in here. I would hear some like hip hop, and it might be flipped, but in my head, I've always associated hip hop with like hip hop, the hippie to the hip hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like just real poppy, like we're hip hopping. You know, like remember that white lady that break dances, and she's like, "This is hip hop." Have you ever seen that one? She's like, "We're gonna do this," and that's real hip hop.
Do the hip hop dance,
and then we're gonna do this with our feet, and that's kind of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like that's. And then I think rap is more like that boom bap clap, like fucking Hot 97 freestyle, fucking Funk Flex, Black Thought, 13-minute. You know, if you guys have seen that one, right? Black Thought from the Roots do that on, like that. That's what rap is to me. It's more of like that Kendrick shit, that anything like that.
See, for me, hip hop is deeper, has more influential sounds, so a lot more going on, and lyrics that actually comprehend and mean more things, while rap is more commercial and superficial. But also sometimes is a little more angry. So like, I think rap came from hip hop, not the other way around. And so when I look at hip hop albums, I look at more people that in my opinion, are more lyrical geniuses that actually like also equate a lot of, and not just black, but typically, because that's the music of sounds. So where they're sampling from a lot more of their culture, while rap, I think, will take commercialized stuff and just rhyme over it.
So I think
Kanye's a good example of that. Sorry.
I think that hip hop is more of a culture. I think that hip hop incorporates things like graffiti, like the style of art, dancing, some of that influence, even into outfits. You talk about hip hop dance, right? Like hip hop is an influential, I don't want to say genre, but it is. It's a culture, right? But rap is almost the methodology of communicating lyrics behind orchestrated notes or melodies, right?
Or like how what they say Eminem raps in panoramic pentameter, or what is it? It's that type of rhyming that is consistent in poetry.
Cadence. Yeah, yes. It's like a cadence. And so I think that when you go back to, the 70s and the 80s when hip hop was originally created, I think that it was done like how you said, the hip to the hippity hoppity, all that sort of shit. It was done that way. That's where it was like conceived. But I don't even think it was conceived there. I think it was really conceived from disco and a little bit other influences,
like funk. Yeah, there was that whole funk movement that wasn't even rap or anything. It was just kind of
right,
like
right. And I even think that there's some, and this is going to sound stupid when I say it, but when you think of like 70s porn soundtracks, like that sort of style of music has that type of beat that you can put lyrics to, right?
That's true. That's true.
And so I think that hip hop is the culture behind the movement or the genre, but rap is the method to communicate it. Like it's become the vessel to kind of communicate it, if that makes sense.
I like that. I'll accept that. I'll subscribe to that.
Okay. So what 3 albums you putting in there, Curt?
Age-wise, some certain albums were out. These are... And it was hard to pick these 3, honestly. It's like the battle for like who's the greatest rapper alive. Like you can never have the greatest rapper alive because it's so contextual to everybody's taste. And even everybody couldn't even pick one. I would have to pick like 3. So just know I'm just giving you 3 out of a list of like 30. But
That's fine.
I would have to go Jay-Z, Linkin Park, Collision.
Okay.
I would have to go. It's a tie between Get Rich or Die Trying or the Eminem Show.
Okay.
And honestly, man, for this year, I want to pick something current that I've been listening to recently. I fucking love the Donda album. I'm a huge Kanye West fan, and I'm not so much religious. I think if I ever come back on, a good story to tell you guys would be the 8 years I spent in a Southern Baptist school, and I went to the school and church, and it was just like, it was crazy how archaic they were. They were like, I got paddled up until the 8th grade, and I'm only 30 years old. So, and I got like paddled, they paddled kids there, and like you couldn't wear shorts or go to the movie theater. So I grew up like uber religious, and I'm not too religious now in my life at all, if any. And there's a lot of religious influence on the Donda album. Like, it's heavily spiritual, but the undertones, I mean, Off the Grid's probably one of the coldest songs to come out in the last year or two, even through this pandemic. If you're out there, you listen to Off the Grid right now. I didn't even know who that one guy was. I can't even remember his name, but he's like one of the features on the song. Like, that whole Donda album, I listen to Off the Grid every morning when I wake up. Like, it starts my whole day. Like, that quickly became one of my favorite albums.
So are you talking about Fivio Foreign?
Fivio Foreign. Yeah. Like, that dude,
that's a good song.
Crushed it.
Yeah. I like that album. I was telling B-Word too. We actually the night it came out, we were recording an episode, and I was listening to Certified Lover Boy and Donda, just to see, because there was that battle of who had the better album, and I was more on the side of Donda. I'm a bigger Kanye fan.
Oh man, Drake. Yeah, there's a whole episode we could do just on Drake and his. Yeah.
I mean, when I met Kanye, one of the nicest people to me.
Okay, sorry, buddy. Really kind of an asshole way to drop in that you met Kanye. So you want to back that up a little bit and maybe give me some context?
Well, the reason was because
no. Hang on, buddy. Hang on. Just sit down for a fucking second. You really expect me to believe that you were gonna casually float over the fact? Yeah, when I met him, he was a saint. It was a really cool time, man. Gave me $50,000 in a duffel bag. Anyway, so yeah, the Donda album, like, let's back it up. We haven't known each other for 20 years. All right, man. I don't know your fucking whole life history.
No, the reason was I was actually glazing over for the fans because I've already told the story on the show.
Well, everybody, like, fast forward 30 seconds. All right, let's go.
No, I met him when I was selling shoes at Nordstrom. I sold him a pair of shoes, and it was just a quick, like, we talked for a little bit, and that, like, because B-Word met Snoop Dogg, one of his favorites, and he said to B-Word, "What it is, baby boo?"
Yeah, he goes, "What it do, baby boo?" And I about fucking flipped, dude. It was great.
Kanye was cool to me. So we chatted. It wasn't like I knew him and I hung out with him or anything. I sold him a pair of shoes. We chatted about it. He gave me, his bodyguard gave me a card, and that was about it. But it was still a cool moment for me because that was also like early, like 2005 when he was, like starting out more.
Dope.
So it was a cool time. But that's a good list. I like that list. I'm gonna let B-Word go, and then I'll go through mine.
So for the whole spirit of picking albums here, I'm a huge fan of rap and hip hop. Okay, like, I'm white, but I can hang.
You're white?
So, yeah.
Oh, okay, I just thought your camera brightness was a little out of whack.
No,
go ahead.
The contrast is fucked.
Yeah, it's crazy. No, but I grew up on the Dre's and the Snoops and the Mac Dre's and the a lot of the West Coast, and I grew up on a lot of the East Coast influence with some Biggie and a lot of the Bad Boy and Wu-Tang and a lot of that sort of stuff. But for me, I don't want to say unknown albums because they're definitely known, but they're not like what everybody's liking, right? So they're not what everybody's going to choose. And so that's how I came to these 3. And again, in no particular order, because I love all of these, and I love all of these for different reasons. But Atmosphere, God Loves Ugly.
Great album.
I thought that one was a great album. Atmosphere's just got a great lyrical flow, dude. Atmosphere kind of reminds me of, it's really hard. It's really easy to say, oh, well, it's a white rapper who reminds me of a white rapper. And he has a smooth, he's like a smooth Eminem. Like he's like an Eminem who wakes up in the morning and really doesn't care and just kind of talks about his day. It's like a white Ice Cube almost. And so I definitely love Atmosphere, dude. So definitely putting that one on the list. This album was actually introduced to me by Jake the Hater a few years ago. NF Therapy Session.
That's a good album.
I thought that one was a great album. NF, by the way, is an underrated rapper. And actually, I'm realizing this. I picked all Caucasian people, and that was definitely not on purpose. But
it was intentional. But continue. Go ahead.
Well, no, I promise.
I'm reading the energy right
about
now. It's the first time we've met, and I'm pretty sure this was intentional.
The contrast is brightening on your camera as you're talking too.
Yeah,
so.
you admitted that you were white, and you came out with all these secrets, and now you're revealing colors. I don't know, man. It's a pattern. It's a pattern. I'd get it checked out
for sure. The last one, and really this one is not like. This one's not a great album, so let me say that. But I can listen to this album over and over because it's nostalgic. Insane Clown Posse, Great Malenko.
Okay.
Okay.
And the reason why is because I was in middle school when that one came out.
Word.
And it was like, so Insane Clown Posse is weird as fuck, right? But they were telling the story, and like these stories that they came out with were just fucking odd and bloody and weird shit, right? But yeah, it was an interesting influence on me for my adolescence. So those are my three. Are they the best hip hop albums ever? No, but they're the three that I want to add to the everlasting jukebox tonight.
Are they all three white people? Yes. So there we go. We've learned a lot.
Yeah, and that totally, I feel terrible. That totally wasn't intentional, but that's just how it happened.
No, we're very underrepresented, man. I appreciate that. You got to get us back out there in hip hop.
I was gonna make another comment. Like, I love that your number one movie that you picked. Also, you instead of actually saying any other star, you said Johnny Depp in your favorite hip hop movie.
He wasn't number one. He was honorable mention, bro.
Oh, sorry. No, Bodied, right? Or what was it?
No,
Body of Lies.
City of Lies.
City of Lies. Sorry, my bad. Okay, I was just messing with you, trying to make a joke.
Where have you been for the last fucking hour, Jake?
Not listening to you.
Apparently.
Was this the same show, or did I glitch into like another parallel universe where somebody's doing it similar?
A half hour, bro. I thought it was gonna be a half hour, bro.
Yeah, you got to understand, man. After 30 minutes, I power down like a little floor vacuum. I just back up into a little sensor and start charging. I can't do over 30 minutes.
So I'm gonna give an honorable mention to a hip hop group before I give my albums, and that's Styles of Beyond. I like that hip hop group. So a lot of their albums, they're one of those. Their discography is huge, so it's hard to pick one. But I'm a big fan of their music. But I'm actually going to go in a particular order and go with my definition of what I think hip hop is. My number 3 is Tyler the Creator Goblin. I love that album, and I love him going to the therapist during that and going crazy. And I just think it's like you were saying with the ICP thing. He's telling a story, and I enjoy the story. I understand, he's considered horrorcore, a lot of different things, but I really enjoy that album. Number 2 would be Mos Def, Black on Both Sides.
Mos Def is fantastic, dude. Super underrated.
I'm digging your guys' picks. They're really from the fucking basements.
I love that album. It's Mos Def is one of those people. I love listening to him. Yeah, I liked him when he was on Spell Show. I love him in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's just one of those. It's just I like everything he does. And number 1 for me would be Mad Villainy.
That one almost
Doom
made my list.
And Mad Lib from 2004. And that goes back to where I'm saying there's so much cultural influence all over the board. If you listen to it, it's almost like a timeless album too, where you could hear that it came from the 80s, the 90s. It came out in 2004, but you could play it. It also still sounds current. MF Doom's one of those artists, like, we don't really know much. You know what I mean? You know enough about him, but you don't. So that's why I'd put that album number 1, because it's also, I could play those tracks back to back and really enjoy it. So I'd put that in there. And that's also because I'm going with my definition of hip hop, not rap. And so that was a hard line for me of like, do I put this on there or not? Because I mean, originally I was thinking like, oh, do I put Jay-Z Reasonable Doubt, which is a great fucking album.
It's a great
But
album.
no, I couldn't. So, and then, I thought Beastie Boys, Licensed Ill, couldn't put it on there. So yeah, Mad Villainy is probably number one for me there. So that's going to be mine.
I have to tell you, boys, I don't think that there's a bad album that's being entered tonight. Maybe my Insane Clown Posse, Great Malenko. I'll be honest with that one. But the rest of them, really good fucking albums. And honestly, I think we picked some good movies too. And it's been a hell of a conversation tonight. So Curt, thanks for coming on, man. Hope you had fun.
I appreciate it, man. I've never met a ecosexual before. I've never met a dendrophiliac is what it is. It's a dendrophiliac. I think only 1% of the world population suffers from this condition, so it's very rare. And it's people that like to make love to nature. So I'm glad we finally put a label on something in your life that's been weighing you down. And get out there, man. Slap some tree ass, bro. Get it together.
Yeah. Fantastic, dude.
That's
I love all of it.
69 a rose bush. That's fine, man. Just get out. Find your passion, dude. Find your passion, bro. Go follow a landscaping crew, and every time they pull up to a house, roll around in the cut grass, whatever. Go crazy, man.
Why did you get fired from a landscaping crew, B-word? Well, I couldn't stop jerking off in the grass.
I couldn't stop finishing on the leaves. People were getting really pissed.
I'm just like the dog that sees like the leaf pile and I just jump in it.
Yeah. I was unclogging gutters for free, but they didn't like it.
Oh,
That's funny. So Curt, where can we find Half Hour Bros again?
Everywhere. Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast. Any of them, man. Any of the ones you listen to, we're on. Listen Notes, Good Pods. Listen Notes is a good one you guys should get on. It's a they'll show you your ranking in Listen Notes, and it's very good when you're trying to get ad spots or maybe sponsors. It's a good little snapshot thing to take to show people and be like, hey, we're in the top 5% of all podcasts on Listen Notes.
okay.
So we're on there. Anywhere but YouTube, honestly. And starting January, we'll have probably a whole new show. We're on TikTok. We're going to have a lot more content coming in January. But check us out. We're on TikTok at Half Hour Bros Pod. Our Twitter is at Half Hour Bros Pod. Our Gmail is halfhourbros@gmail.com. And Jerky Pro, if you go to jerkypro.co and enter in bros, you'll save 5% on some pretty good beef jerky. So there's another plug.
Nice.
Fuck yeah. Well, hell yeah, bros. Well, Jake, that kind of finishes up the episode. Curt, again, thank you so much for joining us. And Jake, you want to close us out?
Thanks for all the dirty talk, and come back and get sanitized.